My beloved in Christ, have you ever wondered why the people who hurt you seem to go unpunished? Why the ones who betrayed you, broke your trust and left you in pain, seem to move on as if nothing happened? You gave them kindness, yet they repaid you with pain. You were loyal, yet they treated you like you never mattered. And now, you're left carrying the weight of their actions while they walk away. But here's what you need to know. Nothing goes unseen. Nothing goes unnoticed. God sees it all. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you will understand how He deals with those who hurt you and why their actions will never go unanswered. You'll discover a truth that will set you free from the pain they left behind. Because right now, I know what you feel. The anger, the disappointment, the confusion. You ask yourself, why me? Why do the people with the worst intentions seem to get ahead while you struggle with the wounds they left behind? You replay the moments in your head, the words they said, the way they turned their back on you. It's like an echo that refuses to fade. And the hardest part, you never saw it coming. The people you trusted the most were the ones who caused you the deepest pain. They were supposed to stand by you, but instead they became the very reason you lost yourself for a while. And the more you think about it, the more you wonder, where is justice? Where is the fairness in all of this? But listen carefully. God is not blind. He is not ignoring your pain. In fact, He is working in ways you cannot see right now, because while you're sitting there wondering why life is unfair, God is setting things into motion. He is preparing a response that is greater than your imagination. But here's what you need to understand. God's justice does not work like human justice. You want to see them suffer the way you suffered. You want to see them feel what you felt. But God does not operate in emotions. He moves in divine timing. And when He moves, His justice is far greater than anything you could ever plan for yourself. Right now, you may feel weak. You may feel like they won, like they got away with what they did. But what if I told you that your pain is temporary, but their consequences are permanent? What if I told you that the very people who hurt you will one day look back and realize the weight of their actions? Some people don't realize what they've done until it's too late. So here's the truth. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to waste your energy wishing for their downfall, because God is already handling it. Every tear you cried, every night you couldn't sleep, every moment of doubt, He saw it all, and He is not ignoring it. But here's the real question. What will you do while He works? Will you stay stuck in anger, reliving the pain over and over, or will you step into faith, trusting that God will handle it for you? Because your life is too valuable to be spent carrying the weight of someone else's wrongdoing. You were not created to live in the shadows of what they did. You were created for more. And this is just the beginning. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why you don't have to fight this battle alone. You will see how God turns pain into power, and how those who hurt you will one day have no choice but to watch you rise. But if God sees everything, why does it still feel like injustice wins? Why do the ones who cause pain walk freely while the ones who suffer are left picking up the broken pieces? It's because pain has a purpose. Right now, your heart is searching for answers. You want to understand why life allowed you to go through this, why the ones who hurt you seem to move forward without consequences. But here's what most people don't realize. Pain is not just suffering, it is transformation. The moment you were betrayed, something inside you changed. The person you used to be, the one who was blind to their deception, the one who trusted too easily, the one who gave without question, that version of you no longer exists. You were forced into a new reality, a reality that demanded strength, awareness, and wisdom. This is where most people make a mistake. They let pain break them instead of build them. They allow the bitterness to take over. They waste years carrying the burden of betrayal, waiting for justice, waiting for karma, waiting for the day their enemies suffer. But what if I told you that by doing this, you are giving them power over you? The greatest trick of those who hurt you is making you believe that you are still their victim, but you are not. You are not defined by their actions. You are defined by what you do next. So here's the truth. Your pain is not proof that God has abandoned you. It is proof that He is preparing you. Because when injustice strikes, you are left with two choices: stay trapped in the past or step into the future that was meant for you. Those who hurt you may seem like they are winning, but they are not. Because while they remain the same, you are evolving, and soon they will see it. You may feel like no one understands what you've been through, that no one truly sees the depth of your pain, but God does. Every sleepless night, every silent tear, every moment you swallow your pain just to keep going, He saw it all. You were never alone in your suffering, even when it felt like the world had moved on, even when the people who hurt you showed no remorse. God was watching. And here's what you need to understand: nothing goes unnoticed in His eyes. The lies they told, the manipulation, the betrayal, and the way they acted like they did nothing wrong, all of it is recorded. Every action they took against you was a seed planted in the ground. And in due time that seed will grow, because here's the reality: no one escapes God's justice. They may fool people, they may even fool themselves, but they can never fool Him. Some people believe they can walk through life hurting others without consequences. They mistake God's patience for His permission. But He is not ignoring their actions. He is simply giving them time to change. And if they refuse to change, if they refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoing, then justice will come fully, completely, and in ways they never expected. But you do not have to carry this burden anymore. It is not your job to make them see what they did. It is not your responsibility to make them feel the weight of their actions. That is God's work. And when the time is right, He will handle it in a way that is far greater than anything you could ever do. So breathe. Release the anger. Let go of the need for revenge. Because the same God who saw you in pain is the same God who will lift you up in front of those who tried to break you. If God sees everything, if He knows the pain you've endured, then why did He allow it? Why didn't He stop them before they could hurt you? Why did He let you go through betrayal, heartbreak, and disappointment? Because every pain carries a test. Not a test to break you. See, people think pain is only about suffering, but in reality, pain is a mirror. It shows you who you really are. It exposes your strength, your resilience, and your faith. It strips away the illusions, the fake friendships, the shallow connections, and leaves you face to face with the truth. Who are you when everything falls apart? Will you let your heart harden? Will you let the bitterness consume you? Will you become like the very people who hurt you, or will you rise? This is where most people fail the test. They allow pain to turn them into someone they were never meant to be. They let hatred fill the spaces where love used to live. They build walls so high that no one can ever get close again. And in doing so, they lose themselves. But that is not your path, because here's what you don't see right now. This pain is shaping you. It is refining you. It is making you wiser, stronger, and more powerful than you have ever been. What they did to you was wrong, but what God is doing through you is greater. The test was never about them. It was always about you. And when you pass this test, When you refuse to let their actions define you, when you refuse to let their betrayal poison your heart, that is when you win. Because while they remain stuck in their ways, you will evolve. And one day they will see the person they tried to break standing in a place they could never reach. When someone hurts you, the first instinct is to make them feel what you felt, to show them the pain they caused, to make them regret ever crossing you. But here's the truth: revenge is a trap. It feels like power, but it's actually chains. The moment you seek revenge, you tie yourself to the very person who wounded you. You think you're taking control, but in reality, you're giving them more of your energy, your time, and your mind. And that is exactly what they don't deserve. Because while you sit there replaying what they did, plotting ways to get even, they've already moved on. While you're stuck in the cycle of anger, they're out there living their life unaffected, unbothered. And that should tell you something. They were never worth your peace. God never said justice wouldn't come. He never said the people who hurt you would escape their consequences. But He did say vengeance is mine, because He knows something you don't. True justice is beyond your understanding. You might think that making them suffer will satisfy you, but will it? Even if they feel pain, even if they experience loss, will it undo what they did to you? Will it erase the past? No, it will only keep you trapped in it. That's why letting go is not weakness, it is power. It is stepping out of the past and stepping into your future. It is refusing to waste one more second of your life on someone who was never meant to stay. Letting go does not mean they won. It means you chose to win. Because while they are busy living the same small life, making the same mistakes, you are rising, you are growing. And one day they will look up and realize they lost someone they could never replace. Human justice demands instant results. You want to see them pay for what they did. You want to watch their world fall apart the way they tried to destroy yours. You want proof that karma is real, that people don't get away with hurting others. But here's where most people get it wrong. God's justice does not work on human timing. You think nothing is happening because you don't see it, but what if I told you that justice is already in motion? That the moment they hurt you, the moment they broke your trust, a spiritual consequence was set in place. See, people mistake God's silence for His absence. They think because nothing happens right away, they got away with it. They continue living unaware that their actions are writing a future they cannot escape. God's justice is not loud, it is not dramatic, it is not rushed, but it is certain. Some people will lose things they never thought they'd lose. Some will wake up one day and realize they've been walking in circles, trapped by the same mistakes, unable to move forward. Others will be forced to watch you rise, while they remain stuck in the life they created for themselves. And that is the worst punishment of all. Not a single event of suffering, but a life of emptiness. A life where no matter what they do, they cannot find true joy, true peace, true love, because they destroyed the very things that could have saved them. This is why you don't have to waste your energy chasing justice. God is already handling it. And when the time is right, they will feel the weight of their actions, not because you forced it, but because God's law cannot be broken. So don't ask, why haven't they suffered yet? Instead ask, why am I still waiting to live my life? Because while they are heading toward their own consequences, your future is waiting. Holding on to pain feels like protection. You think that if you remember what they did, if you keep the anger alive, you'll never be hurt like that again. You build walls, you replay the betrayal in your mind, you tell yourself that moving on means they won. But here's the truth, holding on doesn't protect you, it poisons you. The longer you hold on to resentment, the more power you give them over your life. They may be gone, but their actions still control your thoughts, your emotions, your peace. And that is exactly what they don't deserve. Letting go is not saying what they did was okay. It's not pretending it didn't happen. Letting go means you refuse to let their actions define your future. Because every second you waste on anger is a second stolen from your own happiness. And here's what most people don't realize. Letting go is not a weakness. It is a weapon. It is the ultimate act of strength. It means you are no longer trapped by the past. It means you have chosen freedom over bitterness. It means you are no longer waiting for their downfall to feel at peace. The moment you decide to release the pain, something shifts. Your mind becomes lighter, your heart begins to heal, and without even trying, you start becoming the person you were always meant to be, stronger, unstoppable. And here's the irony, those who hurt you will feel it. They will expect you to stay angry, to stay broken, to be consumed by what they did. But when they see you smiling again, thriving, rising to levels they never imagined, that is when they will feel the weight of their own choices. Because the best revenge is not revenge at all. It's moving forward. It's becoming everything they tried to destroy. It's proving without a word that they never had power over you. And when that day comes, you won't even care what happens to them because you'll be too busy winning. There will come a day when the same people who hurt you, betrayed you, and doubted you will have no choice but to watch you rise. They thought they broke you. They thought you would never recover, never rise, never be the same again. But what they didn't know is this: God is a healer. What was meant to destroy you will only make you stronger. What was meant to leave you empty will be replaced with more than you ever lost. What was meant to break you will become the very thing that builds you into the person you were always meant to be. Because God does not just heal, He restores. He takes what was torn apart and rebuilds it into something greater. He takes what was stolen and gives back more. And here's the beautiful part. The pain they caused will not define you. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it changed you. But it did not end you. It did not stop your purpose. It did not take away what God has planned for your life. In fact, it was necessary because through the pain you grew, through the heartbreak you became wiser, through the struggle you found strength you never knew you had. And now you are walking into a future they will never be part of. They thought they left you broken, but God is making you whole. They thought they ended your story, but God is just getting started. And one day when you look back, you won't even recognize the person you used to be. Because the pain will be gone, the anger will be gone, the weight of their actions will be nothing but a distant memory. All that will remain is the version of you that God was creating all along. Stronger, wiser, unstoppable. And that is how God deals with those who hurt you, by turning their destruction into your transformation.